Ideas in the realm of Gematria from the Parsha and for the Geulah, which means for the redemption. Geulah means redemption in Hebrew. This is Article 9 because the Torah portion of Vayeshev is the 9th Torah portion. And now we come around again to the famous story of Joseph and his brothers. Joseph and his brothers. There are so many interesting details of the story, and each one could be pages and pages long. This year, one detail of the story stood out to be focused on. That is, the amount of money that Joseph was sold for. 20 silver pieces. And they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 silver pieces. And they brought Joseph to Egypt, Genesis 37:28. As with any Gematria calculation or interpretation of Torah words in general, the meanings and explanations could be endless. But here are a few connections that were found this year. The word esrim, 20 in Hebrew, has a numerical value of 620, which is the same numerical value of the word rishaim. In fact, it's the same letters, just rearranged. Rishaim, which means wicked people. This can have two meanings. It could mean that the brothers were involved in an act, although they may have felt justified, they were involved in an act of wickedness in selling their brother Joseph, to which they would admit to later on. They were going through a hardship during the time of the famine, and they were accused of being spies and treated harshly by the viceroy of Egypt, who was Joseph unknown to them. Rashi explains on the verse of the words Betoch Habaim, among those who came, meaning in next week's Torah portion, in Genesis 42, verse 2, in next week's Parsha, that each of the brothers entered Egypt through a different gate. The word for gates is she'arim, and it also equals 620, of course. They all have the same letters. So esrim, rishaim, and she'arim, they all equal 620. Rishaim could also point to the wicked environment of Egypt that he was being sold to Potiphar and his adulterous wife who tempted Joseph, and because of his resistance ended him up in prison for 12 years for something that he did not do. 620 is the numerical value of esrim, and it is also the exact numerical value of the words for sin of Adam, the first man. In Hebrew, the words chet, Adam, Rishon. Those three words equal 620, the same as esrim. What's the connection? There is a connection between the sin of the first man and the selling of Joseph in that. Just as the sin of the first man did not end with him and his wife, but rather affected many people for many generations to come, so too the selling of Joseph had long-lasting effects to which we may still be not entirely free of, even until this day. May it be the will of Hashem that we correct and fix the selling of Joseph to the nations soon and in our day. Shabbat Shalom. Have a great Shabbos.